What is going on, people? Alright, let's look at this book here. Alright. See this guy in this book? This book is really awesome and it's really famous, and one big thing that he did here was he made a priori and posteriori distinction, and a analytic and between a analytic and a synthetic distinction. So I've told you before what a priori and posteriori are, but today I want to talk about what the analytic synthetic distinction is. Here, because the big deal here is that I'm reading a book or a paper by Willard Van Orman Quine called Two Dogmas of Empiricism, and here the two dogmas that are a part of empiricism are analyticity and reductionism. But I want to talk about analyticity today, just because of the things that Quine basically brands it as wrong, and there's no real analytics, and there really has never been an analytic synthetic distinction before. Because here Quine says, but Kant's intent, evident more from the use he makes of the notion of analyticity from his definition of it, can be restated thus: a statement is analytic when it is true by virtue of meanings and independently of fact. So let's think about synthetic now. Synthetic is probably when we are thinking of things and we are creating a truth based on fact, and we have to go through a logical process of figuring it out. Analytic is, according to Quine and Kant, is a statement is analytic when it is true by virtue of its meanings and it's independent of fact. So it's like, if I see this, I'll say, I don't have to go through a logical process of fact to understand that this is a red pen. I can just see it and I know that it's a red pen. This is what people claim to be the analytic truths. But what Quine says throughout this whole paper is that there's no meaning. There's no meaning. Meaning is not existent. Therefore, there is no analytic synthetic distinction either. So, but basically, since analytic is a true statement by virtue of meanings and independently of fact, he attacks meanings, because meaning, like he says basically that naming and reference cannot be meaning, such as let's you know that the evening star and the morning star are not the same thing, right? The morning star and the evening star are both Venus. Alright, they're both Venus that are seen in the sky, but just because they're both Venus, it doesn't mean that they mean the same thing. So, this is naming and reference is what this is. Now, the thing is that evening star does not mean morning star. Okay, they're both two different things, even though they refer to the same thing. That's not meaning at all. That's just naming and reference. So basically, what Quine does here is that he continues. He gives naming and reference, and he gives all these other things, possibilities that people might think to be meaning, and he says, like, no, this is not meaning at all. Another one is extension, such as if you have a creature with a kidney and creature with a heart, creature with a kidney, creature with a heart. They don't mean the same thing, but they refer to the same thing. This is extension, basically, but they don't mean the same thing. They mean creature with a kidney and creature with a heart. They refer to the same thing, and they extend towards the same thing, but they don't mean the same thing. And then he goes on to things like interchangeability. Definition is another one. There are those who find it soothing to say that the analytic statements of the second class reduced to those of the first class. That's reductionism too. So let's go to interchangeability, because that's also not meaning. So interchangeability. He'll see he has two kinds of interchangeability that he talks about here: interchangeability salvo veritate and interchangeability salvo necessitate. Interchangeability salvo veritate is interchangeability while preserving truth. So it's like you have bachelor and unmarried man. Those are interchangeable while preserving truth. They're interchangeable salvo veritate. But I mean, because a bachelor is a unmarried man. But they don't mean the same thing, because I could be meaning, when I said bachelor, I could be meaning Bachelor of Arts. So a Bachelor of Arts, let's say I'm referring to Bachelor of Arts. Bachelor and unmarried man do not mean the same thing. So interchangeability salvo veritate is not meaning. Another thing is interchangeability salvo necessitate. We don't know. We can't really define what interchangeability salvo necessitate is interchangeability while preserving necessity. Now we can't really define, or there's so many conflicting meanings about what necessity is, Quine says. So that's also cannot really mean it. So basically, because analyticity is statements of truth by virtue of their meanings, he says that the line between analytic and synthetic have not been really drawn. Like he talks about so many other things in his paper about it. He ties reductionism into this analyticity, and he basically says that since analytic truths are true by virtue of their meanings and independent of fact, and there isn't any meaning. There's no meaning. We can't really find a meaning for anything. There's no meaning at all. Then the line between analytic and synthetic has not really been drawn. So that's my very short summary. I mean, well, this seems like it's short. I mean, it might seem like it's long because this is like a 6-7 minute video. I don't know. I haven't looked, but this is actually a very short summarization of Quine's discussion of analyticity and his trampling of analyticity. So today, I think is day 30 something. I don't know. But I hope you have a great day. And I can't figure out how to use the moderator module. So if you want to suggest anything for me to talk about, then please do. Have a great day.